Yeah. And I guess because, and now I'm getting divorced, it's kind of like doing things together is, and we not on the same page. eh, I just want to go back to my creative space. Having all now that he and I are separating, and
Yeah.
he's gonna be in his own house and I'm gonna be here. Now I gotta get used to, oh, they're gonna go over there for a week. We gonna do on you there and come over here. That's gonna be interesting. I've never experienced that. So literally, you mean sometimes I'm gonna come home and they're gonna be at his house? Now that he and I are separating, and
Yeah.
he's gonna be in his own house and I'm gonna be here. Now I gotta get used to.
What's good, money getters? Tonight we're about to have an epic live chat. I hope you guys are ready to turn up. I hope you guys are ready and tuned in. I got this show started a little differently today. I started with a little snippet um, with Candy of Real Housewives of Atlanta fame, or if you're old school like me, you know her from the R&B quartet Escape. Candy is a powerhouse. She gets to the bag. If ever you wanted to aspire to use someone as an example of what a money getter is, I'm going to say Candy. When her group Escape ended many, many, many moons ago, she did not let that be the end of her. She got out there, started writing songs, and then she pivoted again, became a cast member on Real Housewives of Atlanta. She used that vehicle to start a side hustle or another business, Bedroom Candy. She had a podcast years ago before anyone was really doing podcasts. Candy Burris had a podcast, Candy Coated Night, years ago. No one was really doing that yet. It seems like Candy is always on the cusp of what's going on. Then she married Todd Tucker, and it seemed to be a match made in entrepreneurial heaven, right? Okay. But as fate would have it, their marriage would not turn out to be a happy ending, unfortunately, for the two of them. Okay. Now, I decided to use Candy as an example tonight because I want to know from you all, is it worth it? Is going 50-50, whether it be in a boyfriend girlfriend type of situation and significant other, marriage, whatever, is it worth it in 2026? Is getting married and commingling funds and businesses, is it all worth it? Candy is saying she's kind of regretting it now that things didn't things didn't work out for her and her husband Todd. And this lie, by the way, it is going to be a little, a little messy, because I know that when we do lives like this, sometimes men may feel like they're being picked on, but you're not being picked on. And this is not a female centered space. This is a space for everyone to learn and perhaps grow from. Okay. So I don't want anyone to feel left out. Everyone is welcome to give their opinion. All I ask is that when you come in, you speak, you say hello, you hit the like button, and call up one of your friends and tell them to come over here and hang out with us, because I guarantee you that they do not want to miss it, and you do not want to have to get on the phone afterwards and explain everything to them. Have them come over here with you now. Okay? So let's get started, everyone. If you're on the replay, thank you for watching. I really appreciate you for tuning in afterwards. Um, but You got to come over and join us for a live show. We get it crack a lacking over here. What do you guys think? I finally found my remote, guys, to my ceiling fan, and it has LED lights, so I can dim the lights as much as I would like. So I kind of got them dim because we're on a Saturday night light type vibe. Um, I see a few of my usuals are in the Chizat. Hey, hey, you guys, how are you doing? Thank you for tuning in. Let's see, who do we have? We got Lisa, we got Sherry, and was here earlier. I don't know if she's still here. Thank you, ladies, for tuning in. I hope you guys are ready for tonight's live. Hey, Donnie, what's good? How are you? I hope you're having a good night, everyone. You could be anywhere doing anything, but you're here with me, and I'm so grateful. Listen, I do have a little goal for tonight. You can donate or send a super chat for as little as $2. If we make it to 10, okay, then I'm going to give out five memberships. So hopefully we can make it tonight. I've been setting up goals like for the last week, and either I did it wrong or we didn't make the goal. Hopefully tonight will be our night. Thank you, Donnie. I'm glad you're excited about being here because let me tell you, your girl was enjoying her Saturday. I got to see my daughter. I haven't seen her in a while. She ended up, I spoke about it earlier. She did end up stopping by, her and um, another little special visitor. They came by and saw me. But I've been at home eating leftover spaghetti and just really chilling. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I cancel tonight's show. And I was like, no, you gotta keep pressing. Guys, we gotta keep pressing. We cannot ever get too comfortable, especially when we have decided that we're going to do something. I said I was going to go live every day in March. And this is day 7 of Money Making March. I have been going live every day all March, and I have 24 more days to keep myself disciplined and do this. Downey, it doesn't matter if you can donate, you're not obligated. No one is obligated. Please just enjoy the show and hit the like button. I'm happy for you to do that as well. I don't want anyone to feel like, oh, if I don't give a super chat, then I'm not welcome. Everyone is welcome. The super chat is a goal. Okay. I'm going to be here either way all March long, and I hope you guys join me while I am here. So, let's get back to the notes. Hopefully, I can stay on task. My listen, my notes have been helping me. Let me know if you think that it has been helping me to stay focused and to stay on time because Chat GPT, I have Chatty working overtime. We've been coming up with lots of exciting lives to bring to you, and I have some good stuff coming up. Okay, tonight's live is titled Money Making March. Are 50-50 relationships a smart money move or a financial trap? You can answer now or you can wait until the end of the live to come up with your answer to see if, because I'm not giving a, I should have put a poll, I didn't, but I'm not trying to persuade you one way or the other, but I'm just wanting to see what do you guys think? Money getters, tonight we are talking about something that can affect your finances just as much as your job, your business, or your investments, your relationship choices. Now, this is a little different from the other night when we spoke about our partners being as ambitious or goal oriented. This is a little different. You know, everybody talks about splitting bills 50-50, but nobody talks about the real cost of sharing your life with someone, right? Because when you go 50-50, you're not just sharing rent, you're sharing space, time, responsibilities, stress, and sometimes someone else's problems. Okay, so tonight's question is, and again I ask, are 50-50 relationships a smart money move? or a financial trap. Oh no, Donnie, please don't be sad. We're having a great time tonight. Listen, put all your worries and all your cares to the side and try to focus on tonight's live and stay present, okay? Because we are not trying to be in a bad mood, okay? I can tell you right now, I have a lot of stuff that I can come over here and drag you guys down about, but I'm going to uplift you guys with this live tonight. And I'm going to pray for you that you feel better by the end of this live, hopefully. Segment one, the financial benefits of going 50-50. Okay. Now, the benefits are you have someone to share the rent or mortgage, right? It's not all on you. You have someone to share in the cost of utilities and household expenses. You have someone who can help sustain your life and make it more stable. Okay. You have someone that if an emergency comes up, you have someone to split it with, right? And this is the part I like, you have the potential to build wealth together. So, what do they say? Two heads are better than one, right? In theory, two people working toward the same goal should be able to build faster together than alone. So I got to ask you again, does splitting bills actually help people get ahead financially? Do you think that when you have someone going 50-50, do you think that helps you to get ahead? Or what do you feel? That's a question for the chat. You can answer if you would like. Let me go ahead and put this on Do Not Disturb. Um, I think that in principle, I mean, in theory, it can if you have someone who perhaps has the same type of job or who's bringing in the same amount of income that you are, then yes, I think that you two should be able to build together. Um, Especially if you're married, I feel like God anoints a marriage. And when two people get together and they are on one accord, I really feel like that they can make some really great things happen. And that's if they are in it to win it, if they're not allowing naysayers and outsiders to have too much of a say so in the decisions that they're making, if they stay focused and keep their eyes on the prize, and one isn't busy over here doing this and the other person isn't taking the money and doing that. If they stick together, set goals for themselves, I think, yes, a couple can get ahead financially quicker than someone doing it on their own. I think even if one person is making the same amount as two people, I think two people can still do better. Here's why. That one person can't do it all by themselves. They can't support themselves mentally and emotionally, right? They may feel the effects of stress a lot easier than two people. Just think about it. If you have two people who are supporting one another, they're going to be able to stand the test of time going to work um, or working towards establishing a business than one person. They're gonna, I mean, it's gonna take so much more for them to keep going. At least that's what I think. Um, but then also, of course, as with anything, there are trade offs. And I think that's the part where someone like me who is single, that's where I have a lot of reservations, right? Okay. Because there are so many pain points when it comes to spending 50-50 or splitting uh, your expenses with someone else, right? You have to have someone else in your home full time. You get less personal freedom. And then that person may have different habits and routines, right? Also, and again, this is me, this is where I go left because if you have a partner, then you got to share your time, right? You got to compromise your schedules. You got to give up some emotional attention and energy. And it's just the overall maintenance of the relationship that gives me the ick, right? I don't want to do that. And I'm not trying to persuade anyone else to agree with me because I know some love nothing more than having a boo, having a husband. That's not me. I'd rather pay all my bills by myself than have to think about someone else's needs. I just don't, okay? Now, I do miss having someone to share household duties with, and I'm not gonna lie, sometimes life gets stressful, and when you are single, you don't have anyone to support you emotionally. You have friends and family, but it's not the same. It's not the same as having a husband or a spouse who is, for the most part, in it to win it with you, right? So, yeah, I do miss that part of it. I just want that part for myself. I don't want to be the one to give it to somebody else. I know it's selfish. I know it's selfish. Don't let's move on. Okay, so another thing we have to think about though, if we have a partner, is what if they lose their job and then you don't have anyone going 50-50 with you anymore because now you have to cover 100% of your expenses and your monthly maintenance bills, right? Or what if they get sick? Not only do you have to cover their half, now you got to look after them. So they can't help with the bills and they're sick. At my age, I'm seeing a lot of women who are entering into geriatric marriages where they're at the second uh, end of, or the second stage of their life, right? And maybe they're 50 years old and they're getting married to someone who's around 50, 60, and all of a sudden their partner is ill. He takes ill. He has, prostate cancer or diabetes. He's getting legs cut off. I don't know, but that's a lot to have to endure. But I guess it would be a lot to endure if it was you and you got sick and you didn't have a partner, right? So I don't know. It's a lot, right? Or what if you got into a relationship with someone who was as goal oriented as you were in the beginning, but then they kind of lost that zeal, and now they're not as ambitious as you were. you know what do you think about that? Do you think that that would be a fair trade-off if you're still out hustling and grinding and you're still trying to have something, but now that person that you got into a partnership, they're not really in that same type of vibe, right? So has anyone ever felt like they were doing more than their share in a relationship? Like, I know sometimes people say, well, it's not 50-50, it's 100-100. But sometimes one person is giving their all and the other person isn't really giving anything, right? They're giving nothing. Have you ever been in a relationship like that? Um, I don't know if I could do that. I'd rather just do it myself. Or, I don't like having to ask twice, oh, could you do this? Or, we need money for this. I don't like having to ask twice. I like for things, I'm just the type of person that's going to get things done. And I don't like having to wait around and for someone else to decide if they're going to do it. So I don't know what I would do if I had to deal with something like that, but I know someone listening is, and that's a lot to go through, right? But I don't want to make it seem all bad, right? Because being single financially, you do get total control over your spending, right? And you don't have anyone questioning your decisions. You have faster, you can make financial decisions a lot quicker without having to wait for someone to decide what they think about it or if you should or you shouldn't. And you, quite frankly, you don't have anyone else to blame. If you're successful, it's all on you. But again, if you are single, all the bills are on you and you have no financial backup and no one to split major expenses with. So if you are single and if you don't have a healthy savings account, right? And if you don't have a nest egg or an emergency fund set up for yourself, you could be in a pickle. When I took off work 2 years ago here, I was a single mom. I had some savings, I did, but not enough to cover the amount of time that I was off work. So when you're single, not only are you paying all the bills by yourself, but you have to cover emergencies for yourself. So I would suggest that you make sure that you have insurance. And they have insurance out there for if you become disabled suddenly. They have all sorts of things out there to protect yourself. So I would recommend that you do that if you're not married, even if you are engaged or looking to get married. I feel like if you're not married and you and your husband don't already have something set up, I'm going to say this, even if you do have something set up, always have, well, this is not me giving marital advice. So let me continue. Let me continue. We'll talk about that on another occasion, right? All right, let's move on. Being in a financial partnership has pros such as you share a financial load, you have emotional support, there's potential for teamwork and growth, and you have someone rooting for your success. I think for me, that's the most beneficial part is to have someone cheering you on and wanting you to be able to reach that goal. When you're married, it's usually the case that your partner wants to see you win, not only because they love you, but because if you win, they win, right? So I think that's a good thing if you have that. But again, here we come with the cons, right? We always have to weigh the good and the bad. We can't just look at life with rose colored glasses on, right? Again, you have to explain your spending choices, which is something that I absolutely hate. I'm very independent and I don't like having to say, hey, this is where I'm spending my money. This is what I did with my money. No, my money is my money to make my choices with and to do as I please. Okay, I'm a grown woman out here, right? Also, another con is arguments about money and different spending priorities. A lot of people don't realize this, but, and I'm going to look up for a second um, the leading causes of divorce. I thought of this earlier, so I should have had this in here already, but this statistic may have changed. Um, One of the leading causes of divorce, and let's see, because they have up high, and it looks like, okay, about 20% of marriages end because of financial problems. And it's one of the top five reasons why people divorce. Okay. So I think that this live is right on time because it will give those of you who are married or who are considering marriage a lot to think about. I feel like, again, I don't want to give marital advice, but this is good, sound financial advice. Before you get married, you should already have those conversations about expectations and what each other's role would be in the marriage as far as finances are concerned, how you would pay bills, how you will account for savings and investments, vacations, and things of that nature. That should already be settled and square before you get married, right? So that you don't have problems down the road. Also, if you have savings and investments um, established for yourself, then you are less likely to have those arguments over finances. You can argue about something else, but finances won't be the reason, right? So think about that. I have another question for you guys. Maybe somebody could answer this. Would you rather answer to someone about money or carry everything yourself? Like, is having to account for what you're doing with your money that big a deal? Would you just rather just say, you know what, I can't handle being questioned, so I'd rather not be married? That's just one of the things why I don't really want to be married at this time. But, like I said, I'm independent. So I'm answering the question along with you all. Um, I don't want to answer to anyone about anything, let alone money. So it's not just money that I don't want to have to answer to someone about. So you guys can sound off in the comments, or if you're on the replay, you can sound off and let me know what you think about that as well. Um, let's move on to the emotional cost of financial partnerships. Now, this is where the conversation gets a little deeper. Let's discuss stress when finances get tight, the pressure to support a struggling partner, resentment when effort isn't equal, emotional burnout from carrying the load. Okay, sometimes the biggest cost in a relationship isn't money, it's the mental and emotional energy that it takes to keep everything balanced, right? So, is saving money worth losing peace of mind? That's what this live is all about. Is going 50-50 with someone so that you don't have to do it all on your own. Is it worth going through constant arguments potentially, or having resentment when your partner can't show up like they used to, or isn't willing to show up like they used to? Are you willing to trade your peace of mind for stress if finances get tight? I know someone, they can't, it was payday, and here they are thinking that they're gonna, be able to save money, and their honey went out and bought a car. I know someone else who, um, her and her husband, they have really decent careers, and they said to me, for every dollar I save, he spends two or three. So, you know, um, those type of, the money may be there, and you guys may be doing well, but sometimes one partner may look at the coffers and say, okay, well, we have more than enough. I could go ahead and spend a little and have a little fun. But you may be more reserved and saying, you know what, the money is there for you to be a little extravagant this month. However, we need to make sure that our emergency fund is secure, and we could also use that money towards an investment. It's not really a need, right? People have different spending habits. And when it comes to, spending money, that can really, really make or break a marriage, right? So let's move on to the next segment. Um, we're going to bring it all the way back to money making March. Okay. The real question isn't about just going 50-50. It's more about choosing someone who has the same mindset about money, responsibility, and life. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you for the floating heart. Thank you for the 100. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you for always supporting the channel. Lisa, that's so dope. Thank you for the first super chat of the night. Thank you, my friend. Um, I kind of, alluded to this earlier, but as I was stating, it's not always about having someone to split the bill with, right? It's about being with someone who is responsible and who has the same mindset as you do, right? Not only about money, but about life, because it's more than money. And I think that's just the framework around which things are built, but it's never just about money. It's about that person doesn't share the same ideology that you do. It's just like marrying someone who is a non-believer. You're unequally yoked. So make sure you are in agreement and in alignment with the person that you are married, so that this doesn't even have to be an issue, right? Um, because two financially disciplined people can build wealth together, but two people with different money habits can stay stuck for years, right? I've seen couples who lost it all. Maybe they started off cool, but they lost it all, or they just were never able to quite get to the point where they should have something, where they should have established something. Like, how are you married to someone for 20, 30 years and you don't own a home, you don't have a business, you don't have anything? That's a fruitless marriage. It's just like a woman having children, 5 children or 6 children, and none of them are successful. That says a lot about your life. That's your testimony, like you were never fruitful. I think that that's pretty sad. I just have to say that. So, you know, but moving on from that, I have a few questions. Hopefully, you guys can answer. If you don't answer, I will. If you're on the replay, you can still answer in the comments, and I will respond to your replies. And we'll be wrapping this up soon. This live went pretty fast. Thank you guys for tuning in once again. But I do have, some few questions just to get you thinking and really entertaining the ideal of if you are headed in the right direction financially with your partner. Um, and I know one time, a long time ago, a very long time ago, I was still in college. So I wasn't paying any bills myself, but there was this guy that I had dated years before, years prior, probably when I was in my teens or something like that. But now I was a little older. I think I was almost at the point of graduating from college, and they were like, "Oh, we should move in together." And that's leads me to my question: would you move in with someone before discussing finances? I don't know why he wanted me to move in with him, because I wasn't paying. I wasn't going to move in with somebody and pay bills. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Absolutely not. Um, so another question I have is financial compatibility more important than love? I think so. I think so because you can be as in love as you want to be, but when the lights cut off and you can't see each other, then what? So yes, I think money does matter. I know a lot of people say, well, you can't buy love. You can't, but I'm sure being poor, like if it's your birthday, you want to give. You want to be able to go out and you want to be courted. You guys want to go out and enjoy a movie or enjoy a coffee together or go on a vacation. Nobody wants to be broke and struggling in a relationship. I mean, I wouldn't. I don't recommend it. Um, Now this is another one. Um, what if your partner lost their job? Would you still stay with them? I know some people, they it took them quite a while to find another job after a layoff or after they quit or got fired or for whatever reason. It took them a long time to get a job. Like, who's gonna really leave their boyfriend or whatever, if they, or their husband if they can't find a job. I don't know. I don't recommend that you live with boyfriends or girlfriends because, you know, that there's no guarantee with that, and there's no commitment, a real commitment there as it is with a marriage, right? So you don't want to really share your space or split bills with someone you're not committed to. But I don't know. It would depend, like how good my husband was or my mate was, how good of a provider they were before they lost their job. Because whoa, I don't know. I don't know. I think I would give. I think I would give someone as long as they need it, provided they were actively seeking employment or working on a business. I wouldn't just be like, oh, because you don't have a job, then that's it. It's over with. Because times are hard, and it's hard to find gainful employment in today's landscape. It's not at all. I know I was out there looking for a job before I retired, and I would go to two, I would get one interview, and then I would get a call back for a second interview. And I would really be delusional enough to think I had the job. And I think they were just meeting their quota to say they interviewed a certain uh, type of category of woman. I really do believe that because they knew doggone well they was not gonna hire me for that job. Some jobs, especially if it's like a municipal job, if it's a city job, if it's a government job, those people already know who they want. I've worked in HR before, and now see, especially like at the county level or government level, they'll take a certain number of applications and they'll file them all away because they took those applications, and then they'll even interview every last person that they got an application for. As long as they met the requirements, they will interview everyone, but they already know who they want to hire. I remember I was already hired for a position and they were still interviewing for it, knowing that they were going to hire anybody else. So um, it's a dog eat dog world out there for real. So I don't think, as long as my person, as long as they were out there and trying to get another job, or if they were trying to work on something that they created on their own, I would support them. I wouldn't be like, oh no, because shoot, you don't want to mess around and be like on a like that man on Pursuit of Happiness. Remember his wife left him, and he started doing really well. Or what was that Tyler Perry movie? Acrimony. Remember how his woman treated him, and he became a millionaire. Child, if you got a good man, Savannah, hold on to him. Hold on, because if you let him go because he fell on hard times, a good man is going to be a good man whether he has $1 million in the bank or whether he has a penny in the bank. He is worth the wait. He is worth the stress and the struggle. I'm telling you. If he has something to offer, don't be so quick to let him go. Same thing with those women. Okay, just because, you know, she don't look like Beyonce, or because, she don't have a lot of money, that doesn't mean that she isn't capable of helping you in other ways. She's probably a good mother. She is very supportive. She holds you down. She holds the house down. Um, she's not going nowhere. She has your back and is always there for you, and she gives you what you need in other ways, honey. Hold on to your woman. If you got a Michelle Obama, hold on. She's gonna help you become the next Barack Obama. Real talk. Um, Look at me, and I don't want to get married, but I am all for marriage. Okay, I believe in marriage. I'm just chilling right now. Okay, so I do believe in marriage. I don't want anybody to think that I'm adverse to marriage, that I'm bitter, that I'm an aspiring cat lady, because I am none of those things, guys. Not at all. I think I asked this the other night. Do you guys think that couples should keep separate bank accounts? What do you guys think? Agree or disagree in the chats. You could say yes or no. You don't have to go all into details, but I'm going to say yes and no. Yes, a couple should have their own bank account. Each person should be able to have an account with money that's all their own. And then there should also be a household account where monies. I know it's money, but I'm saying monies. Money goes into the pot, and that money in particular is for handling bills and things of that nature. And I think you should also have like a vacation fund, an investment fund, a donation fund for, if you want to help family members out or donate to charities. I feel like you should have accounts for everything, but you should each have your own account where it's just your money and you don't have to do anything you don't want to do with it. It's my money. After I put in my money for everything else, this is mine. You don't get to tell me anything about it. And you don't have to know what's in it. If we both get $100 and it should be equal. It shouldn't be based on if you're married, how much money you get once the pot is divvied up should be equal. If there's $1,200 left, we should each get $600. Or, or, or I don't know if I want to put my whole paycheck into the pot because what if my paycheck is way more than his? What if I'm making, let's just be honest here. What if I'm making 150,000 a year and he's only making like 80,000? Do I put all 150 into the household account and then and he put all his 80 in there so we split everything from there? I don't know. Like I feel like we should add up the monthly bills and the monthly expenses and we should have a percentage of income that we put aside for investments. We put a percentage of income aside for any ties or charitable donations or our vacation fund. We should both have a percentage that we put into that. And then what's left, if I still have 50,000 left after we do everything and you only have 5, then that's your 5 and that's my 50 because I contributed to the household. I contributed to all of our savings accounts and all of our investments, right? So I'm good. I'm good. And you shouldn't have anything to say about that because I put in what I was supposed to. Our household is good. Our finances are straight now. My 50,000 in my savings account is my 50,000. You shouldn't be getting into this marriage to be enriched because you're married to me. I feel the same way about people who get married, like women who get married to, say, for instance, basketball players or these athletes. Um, I don't know. I can't recall their names. Maybe you guys know. Hold on, let me get a sip of water. But there's this football player, and he's recently getting divorced, and his wife, she got an advance. I think she got she got like a $500,000 advance. Girlfriend went out and bought a $200,000 car, and the judge was like, "You didn't need to buy a car like that. Like, why would you go buy that car, right?" But if he didn't have a, if he didn't have a, what is it, a prenuptial agreement, then that's how it happens. What do you guys feel about prenuptial agreements in a marriage? Like, how do you feel about that? Let me know in the chat what you guys think about prenuptial agreements and if people should ensure that they are protected if they have a certain amount of money before going into a relationship. Let me know, guys. Just 1 second. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. So let's see. Um, so I think that's pretty much it. I think we had a decent live today, y'all. I almost had a big snafu. I started the live, or where rather I scheduled the live. I don't know about continuing after this month going live because last night I put the wrong time and today I started the live without going into the live that was already scheduled. So I had already started the live and I had to go out of it and then like delete it and then come back and then hit the button to come into the live that I already had scheduled. It was a whole thing, guys. Thank you, Lisa, once again for another $1.99. I appreciate you for the super chat. Lisa, you are so supportive. Thank you, girl. I appreciate you so much. You have been a blessing ever since I met you with your support. You can't really, I don't know, you can't really uh, say enough about people who just believe in you and who show up for you. I appreciate that because, it means a lot, really and truly. I appreciate you. Um, so let's end it right here. If you guys don't have any more questions, yes, I'll be back tomorrow. I'm not sure what time, Lisa. I think I might try to do it in the afternoon. I don't know, maybe even in the morning. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what tomorrow's live would be about, or I'm not sure. What do I have? I have a lot. Like I said, I have a lot of uh, topics. I have what do I have? I have Are You Ready for Elevation? And I might do that one for Sunday. I'm not sure. Because a lot of us have goals and we have plans that we want to see come into fruition, but we're not really mentally or emotionally or even physically ready to do it. So I don't know if that would be tomorrow's live. Um, Also, another topic I have in mind, and these are topics that I'm already fleshing out, so I can just decide which one I want to do. Another topic I have is what bad money habits did you learn from your parents that you're trying to break, right? I think that one's a good one. Also, we did the 50-50 today. Also, I think tomorrow, and I might do this early. I don't know yet. I don't know yet because it's the weekend and I stay in late on the weekend. But I'm thinking health is wealth for Sunday, um, because money does matter. Money for sure matters. However, if you have money but you don't have, if you have wealth but you're sick, what good is that going to do you? If you have a bunch of money in the bank but you're mentally ill. Like Britney Spears is rich, but she's so messed up. That girl is messed up, and you know, her money is actually hurting her. So many people have millions in the bank, but they're addicted to drugs, or they have a lot of money, but they have physical ailments that prevent them from enjoying their money. And everybody else gets to enjoy it because they're taking care of them and taking care of their health, and they just got to kind of sit on the sidelines. So I think for a Soulful Sunday, it'll be Soulful Sunday, and it would be um, the 8th day of Money Making March. So we'll talk about that. So uh, let me see, where were we? Okay, all right. What did I do? Okay, so money getters. My closing thought is Relationships are emotional decisions, but they also come with financial consequences. The right partner can help you build wealth and stability. The wrong partner can cost you time, money, and peace that you can't get back. Tonight's real question is: Are you choosing partnership or protecting your peace? And hopefully, you can get a little of both, right? In life, because I feel like, what's life really if you don't have, what's the point of having it all if you don't have someone to share it with? And I think that, we got to get back to that, like striving to have things, but also striving to have meaningful relationships. I thank you all once again for tuning in. I appreciate you, Lisa, oh so much. And anybody else who comes along and watches this, I hope this is a fruitful conversation to help you really consider the choices that you make. Because yes, he may be fine or she may be fine, but where's her head at? And I think that's the point of it all. Like, is this person for you? Will this person help you to grow and elevate? If you get sick, can that person stand in the gap for you? If you're doing well, can that person help you grow even more? How prudent are they? How responsible are they? I think those are things that we got to think about rather than how good a person looks or how a person makes us feel. We have to be really um, prudent in how we choose our partners. So, thank you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow for Money Making March Day 8. And I hope you guys tune in if you have missed some of the other days of Money Making March. Catch up. They're not that long. I think they're most of the days are like 1 hour long. So you have time to binge watch the other days and catch up for tomorrow's show. You guys have a good night. Stay blessed and God bless.